please let me know if you can hear me clearly. All right? Here's the microphone, so let me know if you can hear me. That's the most important part. It's me, Ari Dosset, or those who follow me for a while, Rashid. I'm in Rotterdam again, visiting a relative, and as you can see, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. So here I am, and I decided let me do another live stream for you all. I know this time that I'm saying, I know this moment I make this live stream not be convenient for you. You may be at work. So if you're watching the replay, that's fine. But if you're here live right now, let me know in the live chat you're here, please. Thank you very much. Let me know. Well, lad, I'm glad you're here. And by the way, well, lad, I didn't forget about your email. I just didn't have the time yet to respond. Things have been quite chaotic around me lately, but that's on me. I'm not making excuses. I'm coming back to the email you sent me. And for the rest of you, if you send an email past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'd still need some time to check them out, all right? Ian Dixon is here. Maria Garcia is here. Praise the Lord. Please give a thumbs up. Thank you very much. This is an org chart around here. Yes, I said it correctly this time. Not org chart, org chart. Someone from New Zealand corrected me, say it's org chart, not org chart. Okay, so this is an org chart right here. The trees are recently planted, so they still need to grow. It doesn't look like a vineyard to me anyway, but anyway. Justin, I'm glad you're here. Again, I started 4 minutes, as always. Thank you very much. I started 4 minutes. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in the Netherlands. I'm in Rotterdam right now, visiting a relative, and the relative is now to the supermarket, so I thought, hey, I can just walk around and do a live stream, and here I am. Man, it's a clear blue sky today. There are no clouds at all. Praise the Lord. I don't even have to put my coat on because it's not even that cold. According to the weather forecast, it should be colder than I'm feeling right now, but anyway. Four thumbs up, thank you very much. And for those in the Netherlands, I have some good news. I haven't noticed that many paranormal entities lately when I walk in town. Normally, you see a bunch of them, so I know it's because of a revival amongst believers, or because believers have been decreeing better. If that's the case, like you took part of it, so clap for yourself. Well, anyway, I see the positive developments over here. This one is just what I want to say. Les Brown is here. Glad you're here, Les. Okay, I'm almost going to begin. All right. This feels like summer a little bit, but anyway. Elaine is here, right on time, Elaine, because I'm going to begin right now. All right. The title of this live stream already says this. Hold on, check the context. And I put multiple exclamation marks. Now, in the English language, you only use one exclamation mark. Using multiple exclamation mark is overdoing something. Well, I overdid it on purpose with multiple exclamation marks. Check the context. It is anything you get from this YouTube channel, get this, check the context. Once you understand this, this is enough to get ahead in life and get quite far, especially as a believer, and I'm addressing believers here. Check the context. That is something we often forget to do, or we don't do it because we're not used to. Now, let me illustrate how you can identify, how you can recognize the context about something. Okay, there's a shooting. I'm using a parable slash example now, so listen well. There's a shooting, and you arrive at home and you see on TV, on BBC or whatever news broadcast system you have in your country, there was a mass shooting. And on TV, you see the news reporter standing there, you see the police lines, police don't cross, crime scene don't cross, you see police officers standing there. The media speaks to some of the police officers, some of the survivors are shocked and traumatized, as how it appears. But then they quickly move on to the next subject. And multiple media outlets talk about the shooting. And then one individual asks you, do you believe the shooting that they talk about on mainstream media? And people say, well, yeah. I mean, you saw them there at the crime scene and all of that, but then you ask them, did you see any blood? Do you see any blood spatters anywhere in the media footage you saw? And now you begin to think, hey, wait a minute. That's odd. It was a mass shooting. That means bullets hit the bodies and people die. So when a bullet hits your body, it's like a crater impact it has on your body. So there should be blood all over the place, especially if you hit vital organs. And when someone is shot, they're going to either fall down or they're going to struggle around, so it's going to be more blood all over the place. So now you realize to yourself, hold on a minute. I did not see any blood at all in the media footage. Then someone else asks you, where are the ambulances? If people have been gunned down in mass and there are people who even survived, that means there are people who have been shot but they're in critical condition. There should be many ambulances over there, many medical experts there just to deal with the wounded people. And then you realize, hold on, I didn't see any ambulance. On none of the media networks even spoke with ambulances. So now you think to yourself, oh, hold on, this is weird. Yes, it is weird. You can't have a mass shooting and have no blood spatters all over the place. You can't have a mass shooting and as a response there are no ambulances. Even if everyone died, you need the ambulances to come to pick up the corpses, because the corpses need to be brought to a forensic anthropologist to conduct autopsy on them. You need to identify who are the victims. So, now you ask yourself a question. Why did you believe what they showed you? Now, one of the main reasons why you might have believed what they've shown you was because of the social recognition. That news broadcast is considered professional. And because society considers it professional, the programming is a professional news outlet, so whatever they say is professional. They only hire the most experienced and the most qualified journalists. So because this organization, which is a media broadcast, because this organization presents itself as professional, you automatically expect professional conduct from them. And you think to yourself, if this media outlet was not professional, then it wouldn't have survived, because people would have called it out. So based on this thinking, you conclude if they say something, there must be some truth or some validity to it. What you forget is that people rarely call out inconsistencies due to people being scared of being an outcast. So it can be that many people see that this media outlet is lying to the masses, but to call it out means to call out the controversy. And nobody wants to be associated with a controversy, so people just let it pass. That's why this media outlet was able to get away with scamming the masses. By the way, can you all hear me? There's a little bit of wind now. Hope it doesn't affect the mic that much. Can you all hear me? Let me know. Hold on. All right. So, based on the example I just gave you, the error many people make, including many believers, is that they check the social status of someone or something. Oh, this guy has been banned from the university because of conspiracy theories. Oh, that means this guy must be unreliable, or he must have messed up his research. Oh, this guy got many awards, so he must be of quality. We often, and we're social creatures, so I'm not telling you there's something, that this tendency is something wrong, but this human tendency is often used against us. We tend to look at the social proof of a situation instead of looking at the actual forensic proof. So, if someone tells you that Kevin is a drug dealer, and you see a picture of Kevin, and you see that he's a guy, he looks similar to the movie stars or whatever, you may think, him, a drug dealer, come on now. But then if they show you a picture of Kevin, and this Kevin is either a Moroccan or someone from some African ancestry, or someone from Latin American ancestry, or they're from Mexico or whatever, now you tend to doubt that maybe he is a drug dealer. Why is that? Because when the term drug dealer brings up images in your mind, those images have been provided to you by society. So, anytime you hear a drug dealer, that image pops up in your mind. And so when someone is called a drug dealer, you will compare the situation with the image that pops up in your mind. You compare the two. If the comparison is a match, you say, okay, he is likely a drug dealer. If the comparison does not match, you will doubt it. And this is a trick mainstream media, as well as politicians, use on the masses. They put images out there, and they associate labels with them, as well as emotions. Hold on. There's a lot of wind coming to my eye. Hold on. Well, wind, but anyway. So, eventually, you are shaped to think and feel a certain way. And once you think and feel a certain way, whoever shaped you in that way of thinking and feeling, they know how to direct you. So if you were always shown Mexicans or Moroccans or anyway non-Western people as drug dealers, then in your mind, a drug dealer is someone from a certain ethnicity. Even though it can be, there are many British or Canadian drug dealers that they just won't show you. Why are they doing this? So that anytime you talk about drugs, you think about a certain demographic of people. This is a trick they're using on you. And this trick doesn't come from mainstream media. It's something from ancient times. The human mind, it works through association. So you have to associate something with a meaning. That's how we learn. That's how we relate to objects, how we relate to other people. And the meaning can either be confirming, so consider it safe, or it can be threatening. That means you need to watch out for it. So every meaning we attach to an object or to another human being can either be a meaning that is confirming of us, or it can be a meaning that is threatening, because something that contradicts how we think about ourselves. Now, someone that self-reflects will eventually realize, hold on a minute, why am I feeling and thinking a certain way? Oh wait, I grew up over there, and that's how people over there think. But you know what? Not everything about these people that I grew up with is correct. So I need to check myself also. I need to educate myself better. But the thing is, a lot of people just don't do this because, now, if you do this, you have to deal with the errors of how you were raised also. And dealing with the errors of how you were raised is not something a lot of people gladly do. They don't. So a lot of people, even though they may not say this, they want someone else to do the examination for them. Now, there's nothing wrong with letting someone else do the examination for you. For example, if you go to a hospital and there's something with your wife in her chest. Now, you're not a medical doctor. You don't know anything about medicine, and you're not even well informed about the human body. In this case, the hospital will conduct a research on your wife, and they will do the analysis and examination for you. Which is proper. That's why they're educated. That's why they're hired. That's what they're supposed to do. If your car breaks down, you go to a car mechanic. The car mechanic is the one who should examine the car and do analysis and give you the results, so that you can know what's wrong with your car, and then the car mechanic can propose a solution to you, saying, I can fix this for you, this is the price. This is how it goes. So letting someone else do the examination for you, there's nothing wrong with that. We do it every day, and that's how we function as a community. Because you don't have all the knowledge. You don't have all the experience. You don't have all the abilities. You don't have all the talents. All right? So you are interdependent on other people, as simple as that. However, this relying on someone else to do the examination for you can go too far. And in the world, it often goes too far. In the world, it goes so far that people don't even want to think anymore. People become like robots that you put a chip in and it just functions. That's how a lot of people operate. That's how a lot of people want to operate. And why do they want to operate like this? Very simple. You won't face any surprises. You won't face any discomfort. You won't have to deal with anything. You don't have to process anything. You don't have to deal with inconvenient facts. So letting someone else do the examination for you is proper, and I support it if the situation requires it. Look, I don't have that much experience nor knowledge of cars. Sometimes I difficultly recognize the type of model of car it is. So if I have a car and something is wrong with the car, I won't do any examination myself. Why? Because I'm not qualified to do it, because I don't have much knowledge of cars. I go to a car mechanic, or at least someone who has knowledge of cars. In that case, it's proper for me to hand over the discernment to the car mechanic. If you go to a hospital, you hand over the discernment to the medical doctor or whoever is there. Simple as that. But what you don't do is hand over discernment concerning safety to someone else. Let me explain. If you are driving on the road, there are traffic signs and traffic rules. Why? Because experts build those rules to make sure, based on scientific knowledge, to reduce the amount of accidents on the road. In that case, you're not handing over your safety discernment to someone else. They're just helping you out, and you comply with them. As simple as that. But if you're driving on the road and you see that a car keeps speeding your way, in your mind you realize, why is this car speeding like that? Is he out of his mind? Well, likely he is out of his mind. So you stop and let them pass by you. You're thinking, F him, according to the traffic rules, I have a right to drive now. He has to wait. You follow the rules, despite that it's not practiced in reality, you end up in a car crash. Simple as that. Or maybe, just like the example I gave to you, there's a media outlet giving you information about something, but obviously there are things missing in the story. Now, either the story was not professionally transferred, either was not professionally broadcasted, or the story is fake. One of the two. So instead of considering that the story may be fake, a lot of people make excuses saying, well, you're not a journalist, you don't have any fieldwork experience, so who are you to criticize the journalist? Okay, if someone is a professional car mechanic and you know nothing about cars, you want to criticize him, okay, that's going to be a bit awkward, a bit off. Or if someone is a medical doctor who knows more about human body than you do, his experience with the human body, and you tend to criticize them based on how you feel, okay, that's going to be a bit weird, absolutely. But it's not weird, and it's not improper, and it's not awkward when you examine the context of a situation and realize that certain things in this situation don't add up. So that means the situation is not reliable. I need to look into it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing shameful about it. Again, in the world, despite the fact that all human beings have brains, despite that we all have a survival instinct, and despite that we all have an inner radar as spirit beings, too many people prefer to escape. And this escapism of them puts them in danger. Because if human beings will fulfill this escapism and embrace life as God intended it to be, God created life. He's the author of life. So, of course, you embrace life the way He wants it, things will go well. If they would just face life the way God intended it to be, there wouldn't be any predators around to take advantage of them, because none of the predators would have anything to work with. I mean, someone who takes life the way God intended it to be, you try to scam them by offering an easy way out, they're going to look at you and think, Joker, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but the Heavenly Father provides for me, and He will never leave and forsake me. So why should I join this group of yours? Because I won't be lonely anymore. So let's say someone has a cult, and they want to be a member of the cult because they want to, well, use this cult for money laundering or whatever. But they tell you this is a church, and these people love the Lord. But then you realize that all the people at the church, they're kind of demon possessed. Now, if you lack self-worth and you don't have any trust in the Heavenly Father, you will fall for it likely. But if you embrace life as God intended it to be, you're going to check the situation and think, nope, I'm out. The same thing with advertisement. Advertisement is effective in shaping people's opinions and how people view things. Absolutely. And you can be influenced by advertisement too. That's not something you can help. Okay, you as a human being, you're being influenced. Simple as that. There's no human being that's immune from influences, good or bad. However, advertisement can only prosper in deceiving you if there is some lack on the inside that's unaddressed. For example, in the before the 1970s, it was common to have tobacco commercials promoting cigarettes. Cigarettes are those tiny cigars. We know that. And they would show you cowboy. For example, in the United States, you have commercials show you cowboys, muscular men with beards, riding horses and smoking. Now ask yourself this: what does riding a horse has to do with smoking tobacco? Does smoking tobacco lead to you riding a horse? Does riding a horse lead to you smoking tobacco? Do you need to smoke tobacco in order to ride a horse? No. There's no direct link nor any connection whatsoever. However, the image of the cowboy, especially in the state of Texas, is perceived as an image of manhood. Okay, so they were actually suggesting to the male population, real men smoke. Real men relieve themselves through smoking. That is the message they were hinting to the young men. Now, if you were a young man in Texas or anywhere in the United States back then, and you embraced life the way God intended it to be, you would see that commercial and think, what? Why those strong men smoking tobacco while they're riding a horse? You would think, what is this? But if you lack self-worth as a man, you would see this commercial and you'd be triggered because you would see a symbol of manhood with a cigarette. So next time you see a cigarette in a corner shop or in a supermarket, you think, when you see that cigarette, that image of those muscular cowboys comes to your mind, and because you have lack of self-worth, you want to be like those muscular men. You want to be manly. So, guess what's going to happen? You're going to think, maybe a cigarette is a good idea. Let me just try it out. So that's how it goes. Or let's say now, let me use a female example too for the ladies over here. Let's say now they show you this movie of this female who has a lot of money. All right? And this in this movie, this female with a lot of money, or maybe it's a series, okay? Where it's a movie or series, you have this uh, film production in which you have this female character who has a lot of money. And this female character in that movie, or when I say that film production, she casts the attention of everyone almost in that production. So what's going to happen? If you're a woman that lacks self-worth as a female, you will see this movie or you will see this series, and you're going to and automatically be a reflection in your mind about yourself, and you're going to feel like you're lacking. So you're triggered now to look up to this character in this movie. And this character in this movie likes to wear high heels, short skirts, and she even looks angry at men often, and she's often only around other females. Now, if you lack self-worth as a female, what's going to happen? Without you being aware of it, you begin to desire those attributes. You begin to desire those qualities. So now you begin to spend more time around other females, and you begin to dress like that movie character. And guess what? The same pagans that produced that film production are the same pagans who are now deciding the fashion. And what a coincidence. Coincidence does not exist, by the way, but just to say, just a coincidence. That movie came out with this female character in it, and now the fashion brands are producing similar clothes. So they put the movie out there, a lot of women watch the movie, because they know a lot of women have lack self-worth, and then when women walk around in town or in a mall, they see similar clothes being sold for an affordable price. So what do you think is going to happen? A lot of women are going to end up dressing like that movie character. And before you know it, as a woman in the street, you see many women who are dressed just like you. You end up developing friendships and bonds with those women. But there's the thing, you all lack self-worth. So you develop toxic friendships in which all of you remain in a loop of negativity. And you don't even realize that you've been duped. So again, they put out that movie with that female character that's bitter towards men and clinging towards other females, and she dresses a certain way. Then the fashion brands at the same time put out that dress style out there. So women who lack self-worth fall for it. They begin to dress like that movie character. They begin to identify with women who dress that way, and they develop this almost sodomite tendency within them. And some of them actually become sodomites afterwards. There will be women who do have self-worth, who will just think, oh, it's new fashion. Women dress this way these days. Let me do it too. Because I don't want to be an outcast, so let me just dress like this too. So even women with self-worth now dragged into this sodomy program. So with example I just gave of that female character of the movie or any of that film production, do you understand now how important it is for you to always check the context in daily life? Let me know. All right. Look, if a certain style of dressing comes out and you want to try it too, no problem. There's nothing wrong with the trend. Trends are natural. Human beings are mimetic. We are mimetic creatures. We imitate one another. That's how we function. Okay? So everyone wearing certain shoes, and you want to wear them too, that doesn't make you stupid or without any value. It's natural to want to copy your environment, which is good. Unfortunately, devil worshippers use our human tendencies, which are natural, against us. So it's natural for you to want to get along with other people. It's natural for you to want to be similar to other people. There's nothing wrong with that. However, devil worshippers know this about human species because they're human beings themselves. So they, with demonic knowledge, they generate a climate in which people become miserable. And because you want to be like people around you, you end up being miserable like other people, not realizing that's what happened to you. That's how they do it. So this whole rebellious thing, I don't want to deal with fads nor trends. I'm unique. I am authentic. That's nonsense. Real human authenticity is operating as God designed you. That's authenticity, right over there. And as a human being, it's natural to want to get along with those around you. So you're revolting against what other people are doing all the time. Sorry, but that you're sabotaging your own long-term well-being. You're sabotaging your own sanity. Yet the people out there that think that just because they're rebellious all the time means they're proving something. That's lack of self-worth right there. You want to be rebellious to prove your worth with it. Why do you want to prove your worth? Because you lack self-worth. Other people lack self-worth and just get along with everything. But you see people that get along with everything as followers or sheeple. Now let me tell you, God designed us to follow. God designed us to follow, okay? There's nothing wrong with being a follower. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Being a follower is natural. We are designed to follow the lead of the Heavenly Father. So being a follower is not wrong. Absolutely not. But what and who are you following? What and who are you following? And that's where it comes down to. Are you following Christ? If you follow Christ, then you're fine. You're all right. If you don't follow Christ, it means that any movement out there will suck you in. Some say, I'm not part of any movement. I'm authentic. Yeah, you belong to the antisocial people who just want to avoid social interaction because they don't want to deal with any responsibilities and obligations towards other people. There's still a movement you're part of because there are more people like you, and for some reason you end up liking those people. Human beings are designed as followers to be part of a movement. That's natural, that's healthy. The thing is, which movement are you a part of? You can't change your human design. You are a social creature designed to be a follower in a movement. That's what you are as a human being. You can't change your human design. But what you can do is use your human design to be in the right place and to be on the right side. For example, as a human being, you need to eat. Okay? If you don't eat, you'll die. Okay? So you can't help the fact that you need to eat. As long as you are alive, you need to eat. But what you can do is influence what you're eating. As simple as that. You can't prevent that you need to eat, but you have influence what you're eating. The same way, you are a social creature designed to be a follower in a movement. Simple as that. You can't change that. To want to change that is ludicrous, it's delusional. What is not delusional, no, is want to be part of the right movement. And that's something we can influence. So, some said twice motorcycles passed by me. Didn't even see it. Well, anyway, no gang stalks around here, praise the Lord. So let's just understand the following. You, as a believer, you cannot stop the world from being defective. You can't stop the world from being dysfunctional. You can't stop people from perishing. You can't stop people from turning reprobates. You can't stop bad things from happening. You don't have that ability. The ability you do have is to be ahead of the world's deceptions, to be ahead of the world's deceptions, and to be ahead of bad things happening. And by being ahead of those things, you operate in power. So to operate in power as a believer, you simply have to be ahead of things. When you are ahead of things, you already took charge of the situation. Now you're not in charge because things may still happen whether you want it or not, but you're in charge in the sense that you're not in charge, but you took charge. You're not in charge, you took charge in the sense that you influence how the outcome will affect you. And you also have some influence on the outcome. For example, let's say you know it's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to be heavy rain tomorrow. Now, can you stop the heavy rain from happening? Nope, you can't. But then you can tell people, listen guys, it's going to rain tomorrow, so buy an umbrella. Or if you're part of the government, you can tell people, nobody's allowed to go on the road tomorrow. And what happens? There's heavy rain tomorrow, and no cars on the road. And because no cars on the road, there are no traffic accidents. Nobody dies. Nobody gets wounded. And those that do have to go outside, they carry an umbrella, so they don't get sick by the cold rain. Now what happened here? You are ahead of the situation. You are ahead of the situation. Because of that, influence the outcome. If you guys would know that tomorrow is going to be heavy rain, but you wouldn't anticipate the situation, you would just drive your car or go outside, whatever, you'll have a lot of car accidents or you have people getting sick. Or another example, let's say you have an account with a raining season. Now people build sewers in such a way that if there's heavy rainfall, the sewers would drain away much of the rainwater. What if a country does not build sewers with the capacity to drain rainwater? Then you have floods over and over again throughout the year. But by knowing that, okay, there will be a rainy season, let's be ahead of the rainy season by building those sewers that can drain the raining water. That's what I mean. You have to be ahead of things in life. And the only way you can be ahead of things in life is by checking the context, which includes the timing. So, did any of you notice anything off with what is going on in the Ukraine situation? Has anyone noticed anything off with the Ukraine situation? Just let me know in the live chat now. I'll give you a minute to answer. If you have been following the Ukraine situation, okay, that's okay. But for those who have been following the Ukraine situation, have you noticed anything off with that situation? Just let me know in the live chat. Mm-hmm. Mm. All right. Oh yeah, there are also major floodings happening in Australia right now. For some reason that doesn't get much attention in the media over here, but okay. Well, Elaine, you said it correctly. Suddenly the whole focus was on Ukraine. Ukraine this, Ukraine that. Hey, the country is being bombed, okay? People are terrified. Children are in danger, so that people flee. Hey, I understand it. And that they ask us to pay attention to it, I can understand that too. But I began to think, hold on a minute. Was there not a crisis in the world for the past 2 years? Why suddenly why don't I hear anyone talk about the crisis anymore? Did the crisis disappear? Did it left? And now the regulations are put in place to fight that other crisis, you know which crisis I'm talking about, they kind of ignored their own regulations just to help people fleeing Ukraine. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. For the past 2 years, you've been afflicting the world's population with many restrictions just for people's safety. And now, and listen, in past 2 years, there were military conflicts also. There were a lot of conflicts worldwide, but still, no, we need to keep regulation for everyone's safety. And now, out of the blue, you have a sociopath commanding his military, which also is, don't want to make conclusions, but like there are towns of reprobates in that Russian military, and he decides to rectify history, to undo the fall of the Soviet Union, so-called, and Ukrainians, fellow Europeans are being bombed and victimized. We need to take away the restrictions. And Hungary, a nation who was against migrants from North Africa, as also Africa as a whole and the Middle East, coming in, they now are opening their arms for the Ukrainians. Huh? Look, I'm not into conspiracy theories. I don't want to do conspiracy theories on this channel. You know that. I deal with facts. I deal with context. And I can tell you from the start, this whole situation is suspicious. And look at this. Countries like Sweden and Finland, who normally always want to be neutral and peaceful, suddenly they choose the side of Ukraine. Oh, hold on a minute. Doesn't Finland border Russia? Yes. Was Finland not part of the Russian Empire in the past? Yes. Was Finland not threatened by the former Soviet Union, which operated from Russia? Yes. And did Russia recently, didn't Russia not recently threaten Finland and Sweden to stay out of it? Or else there would be consequences? Yeah. Still, those same countries, Finland and Sweden, decide to ignore the threats of Russia, even though Russia is so close to them. And they send help to Ukraine, which is far away. People. And here's the thing. If this Putin is so concerned with Ukraine being member of NATO, hold on a minute. In the Baltic states, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, you have a big portion of those populations were ethnic Russians. And those countries are members of NATO. So why didn't Putin ever decide to invade those countries, say we don't want NATO to come close? NATO is already close. So when you look at the whole situation, you can see this is set up. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just pointing out it's suspicious. When something's suspicious, you need to admit it is suspicious and you're being tricked. What I can see now is that we are being tricked to accept a new quote-unquote reality that we shouldn't accept. So, and knowing that the world only goes back to past cycles, I predict, I hope I'm wrong, okay? I hope I'm wrong. But based on historical knowledge, anthropological and sociological knowledge, I can tell you, the world always goes back to the past. This whole attacking Ukraine is want to go back to the Soviet era and the Russian imperial era. So what is the world going back to? They are going back to military blood sacrifice. After the Second World War, they wanted to demilitarize the world. And they brought forth liberal escapism. But the liberal escapes do not generate long-term cohesion in the population, as they expected. So now they want to revert back to the ancient ritual military sacrifice designed by the ancient Greeks. So that is happening right now. I hope I'm wrong, but everything points to that way. There even, for example, in the Netherlands, the draft is not used. Okay, the military draft. For example, when I turned 17, I got a letter to join the military, but I was told you don't have to respond to this because it's not obligatory. Since 2020, also girls receive it. If it only used to be men, now it's also girls that turn 17 that receive this letter. Now look, when I got a letter about military draft, I tore it to pieces and threw it away. There was a point I thought maybe joining the Navy would benefit me in my later career and all of that, but that idea got out of my mind very quickly, so I realized what the heck was I thinking. Now, there were discussions of bringing back the military draft in the Netherlands, but some Minister of Defense said, well, that's not likely to happen because the Dutch military is not in a good condition now. It will take like 50 years to restore the Dutch military. Yeah. All right. But anyway, just to tell you all here, you're my witness. If a military draft is brought back to the Netherlands, well, first of all, I'll do my best to dodge it because I don't agree with warfare. I don't agree with war, absolutely. And if they still want to force me to go, I'll trick them to give me an administrative function, not a fighting function. I'll just be wise as serpent to get an administrative function then. I could administer things instead of actually being there fighting because I don't believe in military warfare. And by the grace of God, I don't even believe they'll go so far to force me into the military because they'll get some harsh repercussions on them. It's simple as that. I already made up my mind. I don't want to participate in that blood sacrifice thing. Absolutely not. So, that's why I'm teaching you to check the context. And the context now is that you are being tricked into a normal that you shouldn't want. People were complaining about the new normal of the past 2 years that was proposed to us, but nobody said what the new normal really was. Well, maybe this is the new normal they wanted to bring back all along, but they just took advantage of the crisis that happened to prepare us for this going back to the past. So the answer, you think World War III will happen? I'm not, okay, I'm not sure I should call it a world war, but I do foresee more military conflict and also societal conflict also. So, again, I'm not into conspiracy theories. I don't want you to follow conspiracy theories also. Don't go online looking for conspiracy theorists to terrorize what goes on. Follow the facts. We had the crisis for the past 2 years already. And now this crisis comes also. And now people can forget about the previous crisis as if it doesn't even exist. That sounds like an agenda to me. What's the agenda? That they focus so much on this Ukraine crisis now, they forget almost everything else that goes on. Well, what do we do as believers? Keep your eyes open, okay? Remain alert, keep praying, fasting, and also beware with how you relate to worldlings. Because a lot of worldlings, again, they do not want to be awakened. They do not want to be alert, and they don't want to be responsible and accountable for dealing with the situation. So if you keep on spitting facts, that's like you throwing, that's you casting pearls for swine. They will not work out well for you. So do not cast pearls for swine. When you're dealing with worldlings, be practical on what you say and how you behave around them, so they won't use things against you. Again, I'm not saying that the previous crisis never happened. Okay, so YouTube, leave me alone. I'm not saying that. I never denied that there was a crisis. All right, I also complied with the restrictions of the crisis as far as that didn't go against my natural sanity. What I'm saying is that this new crisis suddenly is the main focus. Nah, it doesn't work that way in reality. But anyway, I'm going to sit here, catch some sunlight now. It's good for my skin also. If you're in the Netherlands now, please go outside and catch some sunlight also before the sun sets. Thank you very much. Or wherever you are, catch some sunlight today. It's good for everyone. Anyway, keep on agreeing with Christ, and I'll catch you in the next live stream. Be at peace.